Welcome back. Today we're talking about some strength exercises for the deep core transverse abdominis muscle. My name is Yana Ott. I'm the owner of Travel Therapy and physical therapist. Today I've got my partner Thor with me demonstrating some of our exercises. Now, if you haven't already checked out our assessment video, start there to help figure out if weak core muscles may be the culprit for some of your pain or difficulties throughout your day. Today, we're going to start by activating the transverse abdominis. Now, this is a muscle that goes across the front of the hips and all the way around to connect into your spine. When it's active, it's like your body's own natural back brace to support the spine and pelvis. Thor, to find out if you're turning this muscle on, I want you to find your hip bones in the front here, and you're going to bring your fingers just inside and down from that. It should feel soft initially, but now you're going to activate this muscle. So you're thinking about drawing your belly button down towards your spine. Another way to think about this is pulling the hip bones to touch in the center, or putting on a tight pair of pants and you're trying to get them buttoned. Or lastly, you can even think about pulling up and in with your pelvic floor, like you're trying to stop the flow of urine or holding gas. Now, one thing I noticed initially is that, can you feel how your hips are almost lifting off the table? Thor's also turning on his glute muscles while he's doing this, which often those muscles work together. We talk about both the transverse abdominis and the glutes as part of your core. But right now, Thor, let's try to relax your glutes and just activate that transverse abdominis muscle. So with his fingers, he's able to feel that muscle tightening, tensioning under his hands, and know if it's turning on or not. Something else to note is that Thor is breathing regularly. He's not holding his breath. It's not like he's doing a sit-up or a big contraction of the rectus abdominis, which is your six-pack abdominal muscles you might be thinking of. This is actually a bit lower, a bit deeper, so it's not like a crunch as you do it. Remember that this muscle works its best at about 50% of its full ability to tighten. And the goal is that it can stay on for a long time, all throughout your day, no matter what you're doing, walking, cooking, picking up items, playing sports, all of that. All right, how's this feeling?
Great.
Yeah, you feel like you can get that muscle turned on?
Absolutely.
So now that you've gotten the muscle active, we're going to start to challenge it. Like I mentioned, we want it to be able to be on no matter what you're doing. So we're going to start adding some movement with the legs to challenge that muscle to stay on for longer. So bend both knees a little bit more. Perfect. His feet are about hip width apart and his knees are separated. What you're going to do is activate this muscle. Keep it turned on now, and you're going to let your right knee fall out towards me. Good. And then come back to the center, and then let your left knee fall out to the side and back to the center. What I'm watching for is that your pelvis is staying level this entire time. It's not rocking side to side as you move your legs. Thor's still got his hands here, so you can feel on those hip bones if they're rocking or tilting. Because again, sometimes it's hard to tell if you're doing this correctly just by feeling it in your muscles. So it helps to have that external feedback from your hands. Good, Thor. Now we're going to take it to the next level, gently tightening that muscle, keeping it turned on, and you're going to do a march. So lifting one foot up and down, and then the other foot up and down. Now really watch during the transition from one foot to the other. That's one of the hardest times to keep your pelvis stable. So making sure that muscle stays on even during the transition. Good, Thor. Rest. The next level of challenge is keeping that muscle tight, and you're going to straighten one leg out and hover it over the table, and then bring it back in, and the other leg. So now you're putting a longer lever on this exercise and really making sure that you can feel your lower spine touching the ground and that it's not arching off of the ground as you reach your foot out. Sometimes it feels like you're trying to bring your hip bones and your ribs to touch each other in the center in order to help prevent that back from arching. So this is a nice supported position lying on your back. It's easy to feel if your muscle's turning on, and it's easier to turn your muscle on in this position. The next challenge is going to be activating that transverse abdominis, keeping it turned on and sitting up on the side of the table. So you can get up however you normally would, but just see if you can feel that muscle staying on throughout the process. Good. Could you feel it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Sometimes transitions like this can be painful in the low back. By activating the transverse abdominis first, that can really help to reduce pain for transitions. Now we're going to challenge you to turn that transverse abdominis muscle on and stand up off the table, keeping it on. Often people will find that in sitting or standing, it's a little more challenging to turn this muscle on. So let's just practice, Thor, here in standing. Knees are slightly unlocked. We're going to use good posture. And then you're just tightening, holding for a few seconds, and relaxing in this position. Can you feel the muscle turning on?
Yes.
Excellent. So now we'll challenge the standing core activation by adding some weight shifting and toe taps. So again, you're going to tighten the belly muscle, and then you're just going to tap one foot on this little step. You can do this on a bottom stair of your house, or you can even imagine there's a step because you can see that Thor's tapping really lightly. The weight and stability is coming from his standing leg, and his core is keeping his pelvis level and his spine supported while he's moving. Great, Thor. Good. Our next exercises will be on hands and knees. So once you're on your hands and knees, make sure your hip is right over your knee and your shoulder is right over your hand. And we'll just start by activating the core muscle here. So you're pulling your belly button up towards the ceiling, not letting it sag down towards the floor. To start, I'm just going to have Thor lift one leg up and back behind him like he's kicking it out straight. Good. Now you can see his back is starting to arch a bit here. So I'm going to have him pull up his core, reduce that arch. He's also starting to tilt his pelvis. So let's keep that level. The hip bones in front should be pointing straight down towards the ground. Good. Let's switch legs, Thor. Good. And one side might feel easier than the other. This supporting leg, go ahead and switch. We'll be doing most of the work as well as the core. Good. And then the next level up from this, we'll be adding in the opposite arm. So Thor's going to be lifting his right leg back, but also his left hand forward. This is causing more rotational challenges for the spine, and your core is having to keep everything nice and stable. Don't let that hip come up, Thor. There you go. Good. Excellent. And rest. Try out these beginner core exercises for the transverse abdominis. Comment below with how it went for you. Like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.